Hi, everyone, and welcome to the third New Hampshire Gives webinar of 2022. I'm Deborah Clark. I'm the New Hampshire Gives project lead here at the New Hampshire Center for Nonprofits. I've been doing this all 7 years that we've been doing this. It's my favorite part of my job. We have just over 2 months until the Giving Extravaganza begins, and more than 400 nonprofits have already registered. One of the new prizes that you may have heard about is the Training Titan Prize, which will be a $1,000 cash prize randomly drawn from all organizations which are represented at one of the 4 webinars. So by being here today, you are entering your organization into the drawing, but we need your help. If you can rename yourself with your name that you registered for the event with and your organization name, it makes it a lot easier for me to identify who is actually here and add your organization to the drawing. We do know that organizations that attend webinars and workshops raise twice as much on average as those that do not. So we wanted to emphasize that with a prize this year. And that prize is made possible by our Training Titan sponsor, People's United Bank. People's has been our Training Titan sponsor since 2018, and their support helps us bring you these webinars each year. And today, Kathy Sherling, the VP Marketing and Communication Services Director at People's, is with us to say hello.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you. Thank you for having me. Wanted to just update everyone. Our name has changed slightly over the weekend. We are now People's United, a division of M&T Bank. We have completed our merger with M&T, and all of our customers can continue to do their banking until we convert our branches and systems this fall. But we're very excited about this. M&T is a great partner. A great partner in all of the communities that they're in, and now in our new communities. We are a proud sponsor of New Hampshire Gives, proud partner with them. We've been doing this for about 5 years now. Thank you, everyone, for all that you're doing in the community. Obviously, we do the easy part, writing the check. You guys do the hard work. So thank you. I hope you enjoy this session. And thanks, Deb.
Thanks, Kathy. So can you see my screen now? All right. I just have a few things that I wanted to go over before we get to the important part of our session, which are the panelists today. They have all the experience that we want to share with you. But I just wanted to go over a few things. I like to include this slide because it shows how much growth we've had over the past few years. In 2019, we raised $500,000, but last year we raised almost $4 million. And all of the other numbers kind of go along with that. We've just grown the number of donors and donations and even the number of nonprofits that are participating. So I wanted to touch on a few basic definitions. We'll be talking about these 3 things today, and it can get confusing which is which. I know my memory is really bad, so I have to refresh myself every year on this. The bonus pool is kind of a new term this year. It's a proportionate match that is determined by the overall amount that you raise online. And what we previously used as site-wide matching dollars will be distributed as a bonus pool this year. We do not know what that number is yet. And I promise as soon as we know, we'll tell you. It's just a matter of waiting for the final numbers to come in. So then the things that we're going to be talking the most about today are matches and challenges. And these are organizational matches and challenges. So your organization secures a pool of funds from a funder, a donor, a sponsor, and uses it to incentivize other donors. And a match is where it's really like a one-to-one match. Your online donor gives you a dollar gets added from your matching pool. And so it usually is time limited, usually hopefully runs out. That's your best thing, is if you expended all your match. Whereas a challenge is, here's a pool of money that is going to be unlocked when we reach a certain goal. So when you might have a sponsor that says, hey, why don't you use this as a challenge? And when you reach 100 donors, we'll release this $1,000, $10,000, whatever it is. And you can, then you go in and you add that to your total for the day. So I hope that makes it a little bit more clear. So the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation, about the bonus pool, its donors are creating a pool of funds to be used to stretch your dollars. The pool will be used instead of the dollar for dollar match. And all participating organizations are eligible to receive funds from the bonus pool. The one caveat is you must raise at least $300 in online donations. And the reason for that is there are organizations that just put their name up and they don't do anything, and they might get $5 or $10 or $15. And when you get down to that small of a percent of a $100,000 match, it's not worth writing the check. So you got to raise at least $300. Matching prizes and matching dollars and prizes do not count towards your total, only online donations. And as I said, it's a proportionate match. So I wanted to give you a scenario. And all of these numbers are imaginary. The math is real, but the numbers are imaginary. So let's say 600 nonprofits participated and they all raised $300 or more. So those 600 organizations raised $3 million online. And let's say, this again, imaginary number, we have a bonus pool of $200,000. And your organization raises $15,000 online. So it doesn't count any of your matches or challenges, doesn't count any prizes that you may have won during the day. It's just $15,000 from online donations. $15,000 is 0.5% of 3 million, the total that was raised. And then you take the 0.5% and you multiply that by the $200,000 bonus pool, and that's $1,000. So your organization would get $1,000 of the bonus pool. The funds will be distributed after the fact. At the end of the day, the 24-hour giving period, you won't know how much your organization secured, because math and spreadsheets and me pulling some hair out will probably be involved in the calculations. I am going to double check my numbers. I'm going to have other people double check my numbers. We'll try to get information out to you as soon as we feel like we've confirmed everything, and hopefully that'll be within 1 to 2 weeks after New Hampshire Gives. And I hope that you'll use that opportunity to reconnect with your donors and say, hey, guess what? We got this much of the bonus pool thanks to all of your donations. You made this possible. And then if you participated before, you've received a check in the mail about a month later for any matching funds or prizes. And we're not going to do that this year either. We're going to have all of the funds directly deposited into the same account where all your donations are deposited. So the banking information that you entered for New Hampshire Gives, that's where your funds will go. And that will likely be 3 to 4 weeks after New Hampshire Gives for more double checking and making sure that everything is in order. I'm going to get up on my soapbox for a minute about matches and challenges. In 2021, less than 150 organizations out of 584 had matching funds entered into their Giving Day profile. So that was 25% of the organizations. Those organizations raised nearly 50% of all the funds last year. Matches and challenges are an effective strategy. They do require a little bit of work, and you'll hear more from our guests today about what that entails. And then I just have a few announcements. Our next webinar is going to be on peer-to-peer fundraising, which is another excellent strategy to use. And I hope that we'll see you there for that. I wanted to give you a sneak peek into some of the prizes that I'm excited about this year. We're doing a few more random drawings. And the first one that I want to talk about, we've already talked about the Training Titan, which is a random drawing of people who've attended webinars. The Membership Matters one is our way of saying thank you to our members who are participating. So all of our members who are participating will be entered into a hat, and we'll draw out a winner, and that organization will get $1,000. And we do that because membership of our organizations, our nonprofits, is what actually supports New Hampshire Gives. Membership revenue is what makes it possible for us to do this. The next prize is the live stream prize, and that is for organizations that submit a video that we will use either in social media or on the live stream. Those need to be submitted by next Monday. You should have gotten an email yesterday that had a link to where you can find out more about the video. If you did not get that, send an email to nhgives@nhnonprofits.org, and we will make sure that you get that. It was sent out to your admin on your New Hampshire Gives account. So then there's the 100% board support prize. And we just wanted to emphasize that board support is really important for having a successful day. We've shown repeatedly that organizations that have really engaged boards do really well. So this one will require a little bit of work on your part. We're asking that you encourage your board members to all give at least $20 during New Hampshire Gives, give online. And if you can provide us with a list of your board members and their donations after the day is over, we'll enter all of those organizations into a hat and draw for a $1,000 cash prize. And there will be more information about all of those prizes coming soon. Just some notes, we filmed a PSA last week with Greg Kretschmar and Scott Spradling, who hosted our live stream last year. And that PSA will start showing up on Comcast channels probably within the next few weeks. And we'll be sending it out to radio and other TV stations across the state, and hoping that we can get some pickup on that. We also, thanks to Circle Signworks, have some donated billboard space on Elm Street in Manchester. If you're driving down Elm Street and you see the digital billboard, it scrolls through a bunch of things, but we're up there. So I haven't got a picture of it. I wish I had a picture of it to show you, but I'm told it is up, and we'll get a picture of it and post it on social media soon. The last announcement is that there will be a live stream again this year, and it will be hosted by Greg and Scott. It will be on June 7th from 5 to 9 and June 8th from 3 to 5. We're getting ready to be in the planning phases of who will be on the live stream and how we'll schedule that in the next couple of weeks. So you should be hearing what's going on by mid-May with that, I'm hoping. So that's enough from me. We do have some wonderful panelists today, and I want to spend the rest of the time with them. We have Liz Short from Five Rivers Conservation Trust. We have Gina Bowker from Black Heritage Trail of New Hampshire, and Jessica Parker from Hope on Haven Hill. They're all generously sharing their secrets to success with you. And I'm going to stop sharing and let Liz share, and she will take over from here.
Thank you, Deborah. Okay. Well, so as Deborah said, I am with Five Rivers Conservation Trust. We're a local land trust, and we conserve land in and around the Concord region. And last year was my first year with the organization. So first year as executive director, and it was also Five Rivers, I believe, second year participating in New Hampshire Gives. So everything you're going to hear from me is really, I was definitely, if you're new to New Hampshire Gives, I was definitely in your seat a year ago taking furious notes, and everything you'll hear from me about how I managed it was really just built on the advice that I heard last year and really did my best to follow through on. So I've got a few slides here. The first one is just kind of how I approached it, and then I'll get more specifics into how we approached our matching gifts. So first, we started by setting a fundraising goal. Our organization's goal last year was to raise $5,000 through matching gifts and $5,000 through online gifts. And it was actually in this presentation last year, we're following, coming out of it, I got really energized, and I started to hear the stories from other organizations, and I had this feeling that we could set our sights higher. And I remember thinking, like, there's so much potential here if you use interesting visuals and make a focused pitch, and then really just publicize and promote. Number two, which was really important, was identifying a working group. We are a lean organization of just 3 staff. And so for us, our working group was myself, a volunteer who really drove the website portion of it and kind of the back end of the New Hampshire Gives profile site, plus a couple of our committee members from our development committee that were helpful in terms of a sounding board for our matching approach and strategy. Next, and you might hear this from some of the other panels as well, but just making a timeline of everything you got to do between now and June and sticking to it. It was you know, something I heard last year, and it was effective. So, but you've got time. For us, I think by early May, I had a pretty good idea of what it should look like for us. So that was everything from, you know, by when do I need to have those matches secured? And by when should our story be up on the profile, on our profile page? And by when is our video complete so we can start circulating that through our e-newsletter and on social media? And then also had a really detailed promotion schedule just kind of for like the last 3 weeks leading up to the event. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. Doing, you know, putting some effort into brainstorming our matching gifts strategy and really reaching out. And I've got another slide where I'll review just how we did that. And really using the New Hampshire Gives resources. I remember kind of being overwhelmed with the quantity of information that is out there. But once I got into it, there's really good stuff, you know, sample outreach, language to use for your emails, tips for the various social media outlets. And, you know, the unselfie, and you'll see we sort of use that in some of our promotion materials. So kind of gives it it was easy to get swept up in the excitement of it all and feel this momentum building with other organizations. And then lastly, really promoting and following up. So I found it really helpful to see some visuals of what other organizations did. So this is the reason why I just captured a few snapshots here to share with you. From our, this is from our Facebook, and on the left was a save the date message that went out. You'll see in kind of, it was May 20th. And at that time, you know, we'd identified some, but not all of our matching gifts, but we were able to give a shout out to those that had committed, and linking to the Charitable Foundation and New Hampshire Gives site. In the middle, this was on day 1 of, so just sort of announcing here we are, and you'll see it's not necessarily the most comfortable place where I want to be, but I took some video, and we really we leveraged the sort of fun, informal, authentic kind of stuff that you can do by, you know, just talking about your mission and thanking our sponsors who came forward with matching gifts. And it was fun and pretty effective. And then on the right, that was from the second day of New Hampshire Gives, where again, another thank you to one of our business sponsors. And it included some shaky video that was filmed by my 9-year-old who accompanied me on our site visits to our businesses who supported us. So I hope just, you know, I took away a lot from seeing how others sort of with limited resources could kind of put together something that looked like a well-planned campaign. And I actually got some of that feedback after the after the fact. So that was gratifying to feel like you can do this even with limited resources. So next, just to kind of go into a little more detail, we went the matching gifts route. We did not do anything with challenge gifts, the distinction that Deborah was mentioning at the beginning. And we ended up really with two different types of pool of matching funds. So in the end, had 4 different business sponsors. And for this, really just kind of thought through, you know, who are the businesses who've been prior supporters of our organization, who might have customers who care about our mission, who might lend what businesses might lend themselves to have some fun opportunity or some opportunities for some fun cross promotion, like that video of me where I'm at Bohannon Farm, Kentucky Creamery, a conserved Five Rivers property, you know, holding up a jug of chocolate milk. So just think creatively about the business sponsors who you might be able to ask. And then secondly, we had a pool of funds through some of our major donors. And so at Five Rivers, we have a group of folks that we call the Conservation Leaders Society. And it was actually in a conversation when I had invited one of those members to shoot some video, to be part of our video, that person said, well, are you doing matching gifts? I was like, yeah, sure, we'll do matching gifts. And then it built from there. And so, you know, first we had one Conservation Leaders Society member, and then we had 5, and then we had 6, and then we opened it up to, you know, our wider community. And it was really powerful to be able to say, you know, we are inviting donations from new supporters that is, you know, that will be matched by a dedicated group of sustaining Five Rivers supporters. So that really worked for us. In terms of making the asks, you know, I drafted emails, sent them out, and followed them up with a personal phone call. And it was sort of as simple as that. You know, of course, using people who have the relationships. So it wasn't always me who was sending that email. If it was somebody else who knew the business owner or donor better. And something I heard last year, which stuck with me, was be sure to ask, you know, would you prefer to remain anonymous? Is it okay to name you? And importantly, would you be willing to donate the full amount that you have pledged towards your match, even if we don't fully match it? So by saying our intent is to fully leverage these gifts, but if we don't get there, would you be okay? And in the end, everyone said yes. The promotion that we did was mostly through our e-newsletter, you know, really putting together some of those low-tech videos that were sort of fun. And we posted posters in the businesses that had some foot traffic. And lastly, we chose not to get too hung up on the timing of our matches. And maybe with the bonus pool, this becomes less of a focus anyhow this year. But you do have to make some decisions about how you're going to promote your matches and during what time frame to really generate that excitement about give now and your gift will be matched by X, Y, or Z organization. And we chose to kind of run our larger pool of our major donors continuously across the full 2 days, while each of our 4 businesses sort of had their own slot. And that allowed us to, you know, the 4 different videos that we had taken, we could then kind of time and get out there and share in advance of those slots. So lastly, the following through and follow up. This is some, it was really fun. This is my daughter on the right who joined me and visits to our 4 businesses and filmed some of that video. But it was fun to be able to, just be part of this and say thank you for, this community of support. And in the end, while our goal was 10,000, we more than exceeded that through the generosity of these business sponsors and our major donors and the community of online supporters that came forward. And so this was just a thank you message that we sent out through our e-newsletter in the day or 2 following. So I hope that's helpful. I'm going to stop sharing and hand this over to Gina next.
Thanks, Liz. Hi, I am I'm Gina Belker. I'm from the Black Heritage Trail of New Hampshire. Last year was my 5th year doing NH Gives. It was my 2nd year with the Black Heritage Trail, and it was our 1st year getting doing matches. We had our board members and advancement committee do personal asks to people that they knew, and some of our major donors, asking them to donate the matching funds. We had 2 $5,000 matches and 1 $10,000 match, which we, with the permission of the people who donated it, we broke it up into 2 $5,000 matches. So all total, we had 4 $5,000 matches. And we scheduling, we paid a lot of attention to our scheduling. About a couple of months in advance, I think about this time in April when I was doing all of the webinars and everything, I started out a plan like Liz was talking about. We need our videos by X date. We need our, I have to put together a social media plan of what's going out when. A month in advance, we started dropping save the dates for, in our newsletter, things like that. And then when we planned the matches, we thought really hard about our donor base and when they would be likely to be going online and making donations. And our donor base tends to be elderly people. So putting on a match at 2 o'clock in the morning wouldn't make sense. But putting on a match, excuse me. So I'm the only one in the office right now. Putting on a match at 7 o'clock in the morning would make a little bit more sense because our donor base would be more likely to be awake at 7 o'clock. But again, like maybe not 10 o'clock at night, because younger people might be online doing donations at 10 o'clock at night, but our personal donor base won't be on at 10 o'clock at night. So we did one from around 7 a.m. to 10, one from like noon to 2 on the first day, and then and one on around dinner time on the first day, and then one sort of mid-morning to mid-afternoon on the second day. And I found, not having anything to compare it to before, I'm not sure how well it worked, but I don't have I can say, oh, it worked better than last time, but it worked well for us. We got a lot of donations during those matching times. And putting it out on our social media to people saying, if you donate between 10 and 2 or 10 and 12, whatever the hours were, you have your donation will be matched. You can essentially double your donation. And that was, I feel like, pretty successful. So I'm just looking at my notes. And last year, NH Gives is doing it differently this year, but last year, NH Gives did certain matching times. So we put out, we would also advertise, put it on our social media, if you donate during X time, your donation would be tripled, because it would be your donation plus our match donation plus the NH Gives match donation, which doesn't really apply for you all this year, but I found, helpful last year. I would get emails and phone calls afterward of people saying, I donated at X, such and such of a time. Did my donation get tripled? Or, did my donation get doubled? Did I donate in time? People seemed to be really focused on that doubling time, which was great. So promotion, we put out notices on our email. We emailed our constituents. We put out our e-newsletter. Our newsletter goes out every Sunday, and so we put in every week for a month saying this is when it's happening. This is what when you should donate. This all of that good stuff. And on our website, we have a giving page. So we put in, on this time of year, we put in, NH Gives. You can donate online. You can donate this times during NH Gives. And then social media, of course. Everyone uses social media. And the NH Gives toolkit was I found particularly helpful for that. The Canva templates they have are wonderful to use. And if you use Canva, I encourage you to look at the Canva templates in the toolkit, because that, honestly, for me, not being a graphic designer, that was just amazing. And towards the end, when we were, the end of the second day, when things were starting to wrap up, we did some personal phone calls saying to people that we knew that, like our executive director's children who hadn't donated yet, she's like, okay, you need to donate now, like get on. We were trying to get the prize for most unique donations last year, which we did get, which was super exciting for us. And so towards the end, when we were neck and neck with another organization, we made a lot of personal phone calls saying, if you even just donate $5, it'll be so helpful for us to win this prize because we really want it. So, and that was kind of fun. It was a little bit of office bonding at the end there of, who can we get to donate a little bit of money so we can get this prize. It was exciting. And real-time posting, I scheduled a bunch of posts on social media in advance, especially the things that will go out at odd hours when I'm sleeping or, trying to spend time with my family. I don't want to have to be on social media all night long. So I would schedule some stuff to go out. But I would also, sit on and watch our page and watch our donations coming in. And I could say like, oh, we got a, such and such of a, I don't know, whatever. Something exciting happened. We got a big donation from someone, or, thank you to this great organization that donated, or something like that. Just real-time things to keep people engaged on how we were doing and what was going on. And I'm just looking at my notes here. I think that's it. Just to sort of cycle back a little bit, the scheduling for us was really key. And just looking at that, something in the question, where our board members doing outreach for online donations or matching gifts, our board members did both. They initially, around May, they reached out for the matching gifts. And then the day of, the day, the day before, they reached out to their contacts and said, NH Gives is tomorrow, NH Gives is happening right now, please donate to Black Heritage Trail, this is how you do it. And that's everyone in the organization contacting their personal contacts is also, helpful, because you're unlikely to say no to a friend, even if it's $5. And I think that's all I have to say about that. I will now pass it on to Jessica.
Hi, everyone. So Jessica Parker, I'm about to start a new position at Hope on Haven Hill, but I'm speaking right now about experience that I had last year with Crossroads House in Portsmouth. So I would love to say have a ton of new information that everyone else hasn't shared. I don't. I will go through some of my notes and let you know what we did and what worked for us. Um, you know, our board development committee has been talking or had been talking for a couple of years about doing some kind of matching gift campaign. And then I think with the success that we saw 2 years ago, when New Hampshire Gives did the matching gift that ran out in 3 seconds, which was amazing. Our board really decided that that was a good idea to pair the New Hampshire Gives campaign with some kind of matching donor campaign. We were fortunate that we had an anonymous donor step up and say that they would match up to $75,000 one-for-one for us. And so we began developing a campaign around that. We promoted initially promoted the match after our online event last year in April. So we closed up, we had an online event in lieu of our in-person event last year, as everybody did. And then at the end of that, we started promoting, if you missed this, please give now and your gift will be doubled. And we promoted give during New Hampshire Gives and your gift will be doubled or tripled. So as some people were saying, we did try and time it around that. We did try and time it around times when people might get even more bang for their buck, so to speak. So we publicized it we emailed our board, sent them out talking points, and sent them sample emails. So that they could share with their friends. We promoted on social media, blog posts, e-blasts through our staff. I will say one of the things that I find really important is when you're promoting things online, make sure that if you're using Facebook, Twitter, whatever you're using, Instagram, make sure to tag New Hampshire Center for Nonprofits and hashtag New Hampshire Gives. You'll get views from other organizations that perhaps aren't following your organization, and that helps to spread your word a little bit better. I'm sure you all know that. But we set up a timeline and started our publicity directly following our event in early April, so that by New Hampshire Gives in June, we were really teed up for that. Then again, I will say that what Gina was just saying about setting up your posts, I did actually go in and set up all of my social media posts. I did do some random ones in between, but I made sure that I had everything set to go so that my e-blasts and my social media posts were all set up beforehand. And then again, to what was said earlier by Liz, make sure that you're thanking people afterwards and still also tagging New Hampshire Gives, tagging your donors, doing things like that. So I will say what worked for us last year was the timing. New Hampshire Gives was happening within a great window for us, following up on our event, and we were able to do sort of a LIBUNT kind of, so last year but not this year, campaign. So we were able to reach out to specific donors who maybe we thought would give by the end of our fiscal year but hadn't yet, and tell them about the opportunity to make their gift even larger. The publicity was great, and I want to say the center did a great job of publicizing this and helping us publicize, and all of their tools are fantastic. And, there was a definite sense of urgency, and that sort of builds around a matching gift, saying that, we have an opportunity your gift has an opportunity to not be $20, but $60. I want to say also to what Liz said, it is important and helpful, and I find that most donors agree, if you are having someone donate a matching, the matching funds, to ask about making sure that making sure whether or not they will donate the funds in the entirety, whether the match is met or not, because that is important to know going into that. So one of the things, I want to say that the place where I felt like we could have improved last year as an organization certainly was the peer-to-peer piece. I feel like we didn't truly harness that piece. And, to look at moving forward this year, that's a piece I think I might try to work on, because again, especially when you're working with matching gifts, and especially the way that this is structured this year, every $20 is really going to help get your organization a little bit further towards getting some kind of matching or challenge funds. But with that said, I will turn this back over, and I think we are doing Q&A. So.
Thank you to all of our panelists for that great information. I swear I always learn something that somebody did uniquely each year. So it's great to have different people talking about this stuff. One of the things that I'm just gonna throw into the chat is if you're new and you've never done a match, you may be wondering, how do I do this? Like, how do I technologically do this? And so I put a link into how to add a match opportunity to your profile. Couple of things about that. If you set a start and end date right now, it's not going to show up on your profile right now. So a couple of people that I've talked to they're going in and they're setting it up without a start and end time or date, so that it shows up on their profile now, so that if they're sending people to their profile, they'll see that there are going to be these matches. And then on June 7th, they'll go back in and actually do those schedules. So like, we're going to do this one at 5 p.m. on the 7th, and we're going to do this one at 8 a.m. on the 8th. So if you're wondering why it doesn't show up, it's because you scheduled it, and only right now the ones that are not scheduled are showing up, because they will show up when the schedule says they should. I hope that made sense. Do we have any questions? Liz, there was one question. They were asking what you meant by the 4 slots. I think it was on like your 3rd slide.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that. If this answer is not that person's question, then please clarify. I think what I meant was, so in the end, we secured $3,500 in matching gifts from 4 businesses, and then just under 12,000 from 9 members of our major donor Conservation Leaders Society. And I think what I was saying was, when deciding the timing of those gifts, which you were just explaining, we set the major donors match to run the entirety of the 2 days, but we limited the matches from each of those 4 businesses to a half day. So the first morning, maybe it was Kentucky Creamery and the chocolate milk, and then that was timed with the video promotion that was on our Facebook page. And then that match ran out and fell off our profile page, and then the next business stepped in. So we always had a business and our major donor match running across the hours. Hopefully that answered it.
Yeah, and that brought up a good point, that when you have multiple matches like that, if you want to be continuous, you can go in at any point during the day. Like, you see that this one match is going to run out any minute now, you can go in and reschedule the next match to start earlier than you had maybe thought that it was going to be needed. So there's a lot of flexibility in what you can do with the scheduling. I saw a question about potential matching sponsors. Are there things that you can point sponsors to about the benefits of participating as a matching sponsor? And this is a question that has never come up, and I think it's a good idea. So I am reaching out to other giving days to see if they have resource pages like that. I think the important thing is like using the data that the organizations that had matches last year blew away the organizations that didn't. I mean, 25% of the organizations had matches and they raised 50% of the funds. So it's really, matches are very impactful. And I will continue to do research to see if we can come up with something for sponsors specifically.
Can I say that I also think, the one benefit, that may be something that if they're talking about benefits as far as, as far as a benefit as a sponsor, that may be something that organizations can develop their own benefits. If you sponsor a matching gift on New Hampshire Gives, we'll have your logo featured on our website. We'll tag you on social media. A lot of, if they're asking for benefits, they're really looking to see, sort of, they want to know it's impactful and they want to know that their generosity is being recognized appropriately. So I think, doing a good job of letting them know that your organization in particular is going to be promoting this and making sure that they are well represented and well thanked and in a myriad of different ways is probably a good benefit for them as well, outside of the center coming up with a benefits package or something like that. I think that's really important for you as an organization too, to decide how do you want to promote this and how heavily do you want to be tagging, thanking, and things like that, and then making sure you let them know so that their expectations are met and their needs are met, and so are yours.
Jessica, I was thinking along those same lines, and I don't think that this has to be that different from what you might offer a sponsor for any other initiative over the course of the year. I mean, it may be a variation on those benefits, but I think that is, looking at those is probably a great starting point. And also to both Deborah and Jessica's point, because your organization is the one that is going to be delivering on these sponsorship benefits, not New Hampshire Gives broadly. I would just encourage you to only offer benefits that you feel like your team can reasonably accommodate.
Yeah, thank you, Jessica. That was really helpful. I have a question about the videos. If you have a video that's longer than 90 seconds, can you submit it? If it's considerably longer, it might not be able to fit into what we need it for. But you can, if it's 2 minutes instead of 1.5 minutes, submit it. And if they're really long, we encourage everybody to use the videos that you're sending in, use them on your own social media, tag New Hampshire Gives, tag the Center for Nonprofits, like Jessica was saying. Using tags puts your post in front of new people. We learned a lot about tagging in the past couple of years and how it boosts the visibility of your posts. So use your videos, whether you're sending them to us or not, use them on your social media and make sure that people get to see all the great things that you're doing.
Deborah, there's a question here that Liz might be able to answer because she mentioned overlapping matches. Scott asks, in your experience, do businesses mind if there are overlapping matches? Do you have a perspective on that, Liz?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I was just really transparent when making the asks, in terms of if there were other businesses who had already committed a match, I would say, we're getting a match from XYZ down the street. Would you be interested? So I think they knew there was a potential that there were going to be, multiple businesses in the mix, and they did not get into the nitty-gritty of how and when we promoted their matches. So that's the only perspective I can offer. I think as long as you are, as someone else said, just being really mindful of equally sharing your thanks and doing it authentically, that was what mattered.
Thank you.
And Deborah, I was just going to add one more thing, and by no means we are not social media whizzes, but we one of our board members at the time, she was the one who, we did not have the foresight to schedule our posts in advance. As the other panelists were saying, we were sort of like day of, get it out there, throw it out there. But then our board member was tagging people and boosting it. It was a way that she was kind of giving us an added gift. And I think the boosting got more eyes on it as well.
Great. I was just trying to pull up something. I saw a question about can people see the videos from last year? And I have a playlist for that, and I just wasn't able to get the link very quickly, so we will definitely send that out. It's a playlist of like 120 videos from last year, so you can see kind of what people did, and it ran the full range from somebody just taking a cell phone and talking in front of it to really professionally done videos with like drone footage and stuff like that. So they were all very good.
Deborah, there's a question here from Sally. The amount of the match does not get included in your total amount raised compared to the goal. Is that correct? I'm guessing she means on your organization's profile page on New Hampshire Gives. Sally, let us know if that's not what you mean.
Yeah, if it's your organizational match and you have it set up in your GiveGab profile, you can have auto matching. So whenever somebody donates, $1 from that will also be added to your total. You know, if somebody donates $5, if $5 gets added to your total. So your organizational matches do get added to your total. The site-wide bonus pool will not be getting added to your total. It'll be reflected in the overall total of the day, because we'll be kind of adding it in pieces throughout the day, but it won't be included in your total. Let's see. Can an organization provide its own matching funds to its members? A statewide community service group with several New Hampshire clubs. Yeah, it doesn't matter where the matching funds come from. So if you wanted to put up funds that are specifically for, I guess I'd need to know more about what your situation is. Like if all of the money is going into the same pool, then I don't know that your donors would consider that a matching fund, because you're putting up your own money to get more money. So it would really depend on how that's structured. Any other questions? Okay. Doesn't look like we have any more coming in. Oh, we got some thank yous and very helpful. So I think we're good. If you do have other questions, you can always send questions to nhgives@nhnonprofits.org, and we are happy to answer any questions. That's what we're here for. And if we can't answer it, we'll point you in the right direction to who can. Thank you to our panelists again today, Gina, Jessica, and Liz, for sharing their insights into how they were successful last year. It's one of my favorite things about New Hampshire Gives is that it's a competition in some senses, but it's not competitive, that organizations are so willing to share, and the generosity is amazing. Like I said, there's about 50 new nonprofits out there. So if you're an experienced nonprofit and you think you could mentor somebody, we could probably hook you up with somebody. So let me know. I hope that I will see you all back here in 2 weeks to do our peer-to-peer fundraising webinar. We have 3 more panelists joining us that day who have done this extremely well. So they'll have lots of stuff to share with you. Kelly, any final thoughts?
I don't think so. Kelly asked, will the slides be sent out? We can certainly send out Deborah's slides. And we can follow up with Liz on Liz's comfort level with sharing her slides. But we will certainly send you our slides. We will send you that New Hampshire Gives 2021 playlist of nonprofit videos in case you have not done a video before and are looking for some inspiration and some sense of the different formats that folks used. And we can also include some of the resource links that we put in the chat today. I think that's it.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you for being here with us for this hour.